Tonight, flooding in Kanata.
There was just like water fully across the street, higher at the ends, just rushing down.
A water main break on a rainy Monday puts Glencairn neighborhood roads and a mall parking lot underwater. Some local residents still want photo radar.
I don't like Premier Ford's attitude about it because I think they do help.
But the Premier in Russell today reiterates it's time for the cameras to go.
We're going to be giving municipalities across the province a lot of money to put in all sorts of street calming method.
And he'll make sure cities have the cash to keep the roads safe. And she focused on the kids.
She made it comfortable in a place of uncomfort. In a place of scary, she made it calm and merry.
Knowing if she could make them feel okay for even a moment, the parents would feel okay too. Decades dedicated to making Chio kids smile, and now the families whose lives Mollypenny touched, holding on to precious memories tonight. Good evening. We begin tonight with a dramatic water main break in Kanata that sent water gushing into parking lots in nearby neighborhoods, leaving businesses scrambling and residents worried about flooding. The break happened this morning on Hazeldean Road in the Glencairn neighborhood near the Van Leeuwen Shopping Plaza. CTV's Caitlin Wilson is back from the scene and joins us now in studio with the latest. Caitlin.
Patricia, crews are still working to repair the ruptured pipe. Earlier today, water was gushing across the sidewalks and parking lots, forcing businesses to close and putting residents on high alert.
Water bursting out of the ground on Hazeldean Road in Kanata, rushing across the pavement and flooding nearby parking lots and residential streets. A ruptured water main behind it all, the water tearing through the asphalt, leaving a massive hole.
Our parking lot looks like a tsunami at this point.
This is what Caitlin Luzio saw when she showed up to work at Jiffy Photo and Print Monday morning.
It just kept getting worse and worse. We were moving boxes to the back of our store. We were moving any electrical stuff up off the floor.
The photo shop itself was spared from flooding, but other nearby businesses weren't as lucky. BMO Bank closed its doors for the day, and Plato's Closet saw water filling the crawl space under the store.
We have like someone coming to pump that, but it's pretty dark down there, but there's quite a bit of water.
The water also impacting nearby residents, submerging sidewalks, turning streets into rivers.
It was crazy. There was just like water fully across the street, higher at the ends, just rushing down the sidewalk over there.
Causing the water pressure of thousands of residents to drop and bringing back memories for those who've seen it before.
It was probably 30 centimeters deep when I went through. We were flooded in 2009, so it was always a concern. My neighbor did get some flooding, and I imagine other people around here got flooding.
City crews shut down part of Hazeldean Road to make repairs, redirecting traffic through a nearby parking lot.
The priority right now is to get the water stopped so that there's no more flooding, and then also make sure that everybody in the street, they all have running water, and make sure that the pressure is coming back up for everybody.
It's unclear what caused the break or how long repairs will take.
There's all kinds of things that can cause that, a surge in pressure, things like that can happen. Age of the pipe, like that pipe behind us, we'll have to look at, but it's probably 40 years old.
And residents are being asked to avoid the area while crews continue to work, and we'll have more information on when the repairs are expected to be complete as it's made available. Patricia?
Big job. All right, CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on that water main break in Kanata. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says he plans to give municipalities a lot of money for traffic calming measures to slow drivers down. It comes after Ford said photo radar cameras across the province should be scrapped, calling them a cash grab. CTV's Katie Griffin is here with more on this. Katie.
Well, Patricia, people are very much divided on this. The Premier says while cameras may slow people down for a time in a specific area, he believes there are better ways to make an impact. Not everyone agrees.
He says it's a cash grab. I think it's a safety matter, particularly in school zones, but not only in school zones.
Nabbed once by a photo radar camera, Reed Hodgins thinks getting rid of them is a bad idea.
I don't like Premier Ford's attitude about it because I think they do help. The numbers seem to show that they help slow people down. They slow me down. So I would say they need to stay.
This camera on 10th Line in Orleans vandalized over the weekend.
Great to see everyone today.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says it shows how frustrated people are.
I could bring people to a halt, a stop, bring them under the speed limit. We can come up with all sorts of different strategies rather than dinging the people with fines.
Ford wants municipalities to scrap automated speed enforcement cameras. At an announcement in Russell Monday, he hinted at new money and measures to get drivers to slow down.
We're going to be giving municipalities across the province a lot of money to put in all sorts of street calming methods, from the little turnabouts, from speed bumps to flashing signs.
So far this year, the city's 60 photo radar cameras have generated more than $20 million in revenue. 24 new cameras are planned for this fall at a cost of $1.7 million.
I think it works. If it slows people down, then it slows people down. If it makes the province money, then, or municipalities money, then I think that's a good additional way. I like it when people follow the rules.
Reaction from drivers, mixed.
There's only so many police that can enforce those areas as well too, and I don't think that there's enough to enforce all those areas. Personally, I think that they're working, and I think especially around school zones and in areas where there's a lot of people, they should be used.
I think either way, it's better for the population if we're not speeding and we're getting caught. It deters people from doing it, but on top of that, it's better for the people not to spend so much money on the fines.
The camera in Orleans has been repaired and is back up and running. A formal announcement by the Premier is expected this week. Patricia?
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, she was for years the most recognizable person at CHEO, creating joy during the toughest moments for children and their parents. But you may never have known her real name. Ruth Cull was simply Mollypenny to the kids, or even more simply, a friend when they needed one most. She passed away yesterday after decades of lighting up the hallways of the Children's Hospital with laughter and smiles. CTV's Kimberly Johnson joins us with some of those memories tonight. Kimberly.
Patricia, the word that just kept coming up again and again today was light. She was a light for everyone that met her. One former patient says that her kindness and fun during a time filled with fear meant everything to her.
To be honest with you, I'm really, truly blessed to be in this situation, because humor is amazing how it changes a situation from disaster mode into fun mode.
Ruth Cull, better known as Mollypenny, spent more than 20 years bringing joy to patients at CHEO as the hospital's first therapeutic clown.
Do you have M&Ms?
Cull passed away peacefully in hospice care Sunday night after a short illness, leaving behind a legacy of smiles in the hall of CHEO and the hearts of patients.
But she was one of the first people that actually saw me whenever I came in Emerge.
Annie Underhill was just 4 years old when she was diagnosed with leukemia and says it was Molly who helped create many childhood memories.
In a place of scary, she made it calm and merry. but she gave it a light, like whenever you saw her, you knew that it was okay.
Before becoming Mollypenny, Cull was at CHEO when it first opened in 1974. Among the first nurses working in the operating room, her second career came in 2001 after a clowning workshop.
Her greatest quality was that she always had the time to take the moments. She was never in a rush.
She felt that CHEO was the wind beneath her wings.
Before her retirement in 2022, Cull touched the lives of tens of thousands of patients, supporting kids and families through the toughest of times. Her brother, Joseph Cull, says she remembered them all.
I'd say something or show her a picture and she would, oh yeah, that's Zachary, and he did this and he was such a nice kid.
A mural of her inside CHEO, a reminder to hospital staff of the impact she had on their work too.
It's a sad day for us. It's also a day for us to all remember that we should all be kids at heart.
She's really shaped the way we care for kids, and she'd be, I'm hoping, very proud of the fact that that carries on and her legacy lives on in the work that we're doing today.
Leaving a colorful light at CHEO that will never fade.
Even if the Queen was here, it wouldn't matter. The kid gets priority.
Former CHEO CEO Alex Munter also taking to social media for his condolences this morning, saying that the world is a little less colorful today. Cull's family says visitation will be held on Sunday in Douglas, Ontario, just west of Ottawa, from 1 until 3 o'clock, with a celebration of life afterwards. Patricia?
This one hit hard for sure. Kimberly, thank you very much for this. CTV's Kimberly Johnson live for us tonight. We do have extended coverage of how CHEO patients and families are remembering Mollypenny and the legacy she leaves behind here in the capital. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Still ahead, staying in, ordering less, or just skipping the alcohol? Why many restaurants are again finding it tough to keep tables filled.
Well, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 18 degrees out there in Ottawa right now. It was a rainy day after a string of sunny days. It was almost hard to process those gray skies and that rain as we take it out to Jackie. And looks beautiful where you are. A little misty maybe. Is the rain coming down right now, Jackie?
Yeah, no, Patricia, we're actually in Westport right now, so about an hour and a half away from Ottawa, and the sun is shining in. I feel like the rain is done for the day, but there's still a slight chance that we could see some later this evening. But what's beautiful to note is that there is some wonderful fall foliage happening down here. But right now it is 20 degrees here, feeling more like 25. What does Ottawa look like? Well, Ottawa mentioned it about 18 degrees, mostly cloudy, really throughout Eastern Ontario. Temperatures sitting between 19 and 21 degrees. There's still a chance we could see some light rainfall moving in well through the evening, but it shouldn't be as much as what we saw earlier this afternoon. Taking a closer look at the next 24 hours, 21 degrees once the sun sets. And then we're getting to a daytime high for tomorrow at about 21, 22 degrees. So yeah, still a chance of some showers will linger into our Tuesday. But as we look towards the next several days, or look at just the conditions for this week here in Eastern Ontario, it's going to be quite different than what we saw last week where we had summer-like temperatures. It's going to be much more fall-like conditions as well as cloudier conditions. But luckily here, Patricia, the sun is peeking through, so it's really nice to take in the beauty that is Westport. We will have details on your long-term forecast and more from here at Westport in just a bit. Back to you.
Thank you. Well, after the latest legal blow to the city over the future of the Kanata Golf and Country Club, the Premier is now saying the province will not intervene in the development dispute. CTV's Austin Lee joins us now with more on this. Austin.
Now, Patricia, this dispute goes back to 2018 when the course's owner, Club Link, announced plans to build roughly 1,500 homes where the course currently sits. The City of Ottawa and residents pointed to a 1981 agreement that states 40% of the area must be kept as open space, but the courts ruled that agreement is void. Those opposed were hoping to see the Ford government step in to halt that project, similar to a move back in 2021 when the province helped to kibosh a plan in Oakville. The owner of that course, Glen Abbey, is also Club Link, the same owner of the course in Kanata. Last week, the Supreme Court dismissed the city's appeal of a lower court ruling, clearing the way to build over part of the course in Kanata. And speaking with reporters today in Russell, Ford says the province has no plans to step in.
So this went up to the Supreme Court. They didn't want to hear the case. The Supreme Court said the developer and the municipality has to deal with it. I agree with the Supreme Court. They have to work things out. And that's what they need to do between the developer and the municipality. Work things out, figure it out.
Now, in 2019, Club Link and its developers, Minto Communities and Richcraft Homes, filed an application with the city to build homes with a minimum 25% green space. Following last week's Supreme Court decision, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said the city will use all the tools it has at its disposal to ensure 40% of that area is kept as open space. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a progressive Conservative MPP is facing criminal charges after a weekend arrest. Chris Scott, a rookie MPP for Sault Ste. Marie, is facing charges of assault and assault with a weapon. Police say they are sharing few other details to protect the identity of the victim. Scott is a former advisor to the Premier's office. He was elected in February. He's been booted from the Progressive Conservative caucus and is facing calls to resign. A late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air tomorrow night, nearly a week after his controversial suspension over his comments about the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Disney, which owns ABC, saying in a statement today it made the decision to suspend the show because it felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. The suspension sparked outrage and concerns about free speech. Disney says after thoughtful conversations with Kimmel, the decision was made to bring back the show. Well, one man was seriously injured in a crash near Vars earlier today. It happened around 11:30 a.m. on Frank Kenny Road between Russell and Devine Roads. 2 vehicles were involved in the crash. One of the drivers was airlifted to hospital with multiple serious injuries. A section of Frank Kenny Road was closed for several hours but has since reopened. North Dundas Township has declared a state of emergency as firefighters continue to battle a massive forest fire tonight. The fire broke out sometime yesterday in the Alvin Reynolds Forest near Morewood, about 40 minutes south of Ottawa. Since then, it's grown to 100 acres in size. The blaze is still out of control, but officials say there's no danger to any structures, and at this time, there's no need to evacuate nearby residents. It's not known what started the fire. A family of 10 is displaced after a weekend house fire in Pembroke. The blaze broke out just after 10 a.m. yesterday at a home on Wallace Street. All 10 family members were able to evacuate. One person was brought to hospital for assessment, and 2 others were assessed at the scene. And police in West Quebec are investigating a fatal house fire over the weekend. The fire broke out yesterday at a home on St. Elizabeth in Cantley. The garage at the back of the home became fully engulfed in flames. Police say a body was later found inside the rubble. Investigators believe it may be a resident of the home, but an autopsy will be required to confirm the victim's identity. World leaders are in New York City this week at the United Nations General Assembly. Front and center is the question of Palestinian statehood. More than 150 countries, including Canada, have officially recognized Palestine, a decision that puts several G7 countries in conflict with both Israel and the United States. CTV's Judy Trinh reports.
As we meet, civilians are targeted and international law trampled in Gaza, the Ukraine, Sudan, and beyond.
As the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly opens, growing support for Palestinian statehood dominates the agenda. 3 G7 nations, Britain, France, and Canada, are recognizing the state of Palestine to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza.
We have to push on this now because, as I say, the possibility in absolute violation of the UN Charter and an absolute violation of international law of self-determination for the Palestinian peoples is being erased.
Carney says Hamas would not have a role in governance. Instead, Canada, in a coordinated effort with like-minded countries, will work with the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank toward a 2-state solution in a plan for peace that could also call for troops.
There are many proposals, as I suspect you're aware, from variety of Arab states, combination of Arab states and European states, to which Canada would be party.
It has been nearly 2 years since the October 7th attacks, but Israel's prime minister has vowed not to stop the war until Hamas is eradicated.
The starvation and devastation are utterly intolerable.
It is not diplomacy. When Hamas is praising this conference and calling it the fruit of October 7th, we know it's a problem.
4 of the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, Britain, France, Russia, and China, recognize Palestine, except for the United States.
He feels this does not do anything to release the hostages, which is the primary goal right now in Gaza, does nothing to end this conflict and bring this war to a close. And frankly, he believes it's a reward to Hamas.
U.S. President Donald Trump will make his stance clear when he speaks in front of the UN General Assembly on Tuesday. Right now, 150 nations recognize the state of Palestine, but the one country that has the most influence on Israel, the United States, does not. Judy Trinh, CTV News, New York.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the UN General Assembly. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel at any hour. Well, midway through the CFL season, what some are calling an Americanization of our league, what the CFL commissioner is calling a bold move to broaden the appeal of the game.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
Absolutely.
Among the significant changes on the way for the CFL, a shortened field and a change in how single points are awarded. In a two-part plan that will be phased in over 2 years, goalposts will be moved to the back of the end zone in 2027, and the field will be resized down to 100 yards from 110, making it look similar to that used in the NFL. The league says it will mean more touchdowns, and in the upcoming season, the Rouge will be adjusted. Teams will not be rewarded a point for a missed field goal that sails through the end zone.
What we are seeing is obviously a reaction to the affordability crisis that we've been negotiating in our lives for the last couple of years. And I think all Canadians, and we know it's at the top of the priority list for Canadians.
Well, coming up, how the rising cost of living is impacting Canadians' eating habits. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. We're on Foley Mountain here in Westport, and specifically the Spy Rock Lookout. And we found some new friends. Robin, you guys are traveling from Kingston to Ottawa?
Yes, we're enjoying a nice trip. We always stop here every year, stop and get some photographs. It's a treat for the kids to come and have a look.
Okay, well, I'll let you guys enjoy the scenic view. But right now, we are going to take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where the temperature is 18 degrees, and we are looking out onto Spark Street. Not quite sure as sunny there as it is here in Westport, but we'll take it.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa for the daily code word. Then enter it online at ctvottawa.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Well, our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, just upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. A dramatic shift in eating habits. Canadians are cutting back on dining out. A survey by Restaurants Canada shows 75% of people are eating out less often because the cost is going up. Here's CTV's Camille Wilson.
These colleagues are out on a business lunch. They admit their eating habits at home are changing.
I eat out significantly less lately. A lot of it comes down to the cost. The cost of the food is going up. The cost of living is not keeping up with it.
Part of my job is meeting with folks and being in social environments, and of course ends up being we're eating out and eating in restaurants. But from a home life perspective, we try to eat in more.
Restaurants Canada food service survey shows 3 in 4 Canadians are eating out less.
When you have a family with multiple kids, it starts to really add up a lot quicker than just eating out on your own.
And not just trying to feed big families, the survey finds the cost of restaurant food plus tip has people dining in.
What we are seeing is obviously a reaction to the affordability crisis that we've been negotiating in our lives for the last couple of years. And I think all Canadians, and we know it's at the top of the priority list for Canadians.
Condé says he just came back from vacation and was eating out a lot more, but couldn't wait to come home to eat home-cooked food.
We find that when we do eat at home and we prepare our own meals, we have more control of what we can eat and the ingredients.
The survey also found a drop in alcohol consumption. Restaurants Canada would like the federal government to put a tax cut on the menu.
We have highlighted to the government that there is something that we've, had a test run on, is to remove the GST off of all of food for Canadians. This would have an immediate impact on their day-to-day quality of life.
Another trend, Canadians ordering delivery more and are replacing a traditional meal with snacking. Condé says it's not just the cost keeping him at home for meals. He's thinking about eating healthy.
So we have a lot more flavorful food when we eat at home, based on the fact that we understand and know what we're eating, and that's not always easily accessible in restaurants.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, it was a rainy start to the fall in the capital. Showers moving through the region today. Over at Hogsback Falls, some small signs of leaves starting to change color. Yes, it's happening on the first day of autumn. But you always hear that it's always beautiful in Westport, and apparently that is holding true this evening as Jackie is out there for us tonight, and it looks gorgeous, Jackie.
That's right, Patricia. Happy first day of fall. And I just can't get over how stunning the view is from up here at the Spy Rock Lookout Point here in Westport. And again, stunning conditions considering that we had that heavy rainfall really moving through eastern Ontario. The good news is, at least for here and in the Kingston area, which is about half an hour away, that the rain has more or less stopped, but there's still a slight chance that we could see some showers moving through. Right now for Ottawa, though, temperatures are sitting at around 18 degrees. Cloudy conditions, but I hope before the sun sets within the next 45 minutes that we could see a peak of sunshine. So my fingers crossed for this, because really the sunset now setting at 6:59. Now overnight lows is going to be quite warm considering the near freezing mark, I should say, that we've had over the last couple of nights. 16 degrees for the overnight, still a chance of showers, and that will linger into tomorrow, where we will see a daytime high of 22 degrees. As for lows across the region now, sitting between 14, 16 degrees. So really by the valley, you're going to see some clouds. No chances of rain popping up, but there is still a slight chance, especially along the seaway, that there could be a risk of some thunderstorms moving in through the overnight. Meanwhile, looking at our daytime highs across eastern Ontario's, temperatures are sitting between 21, 23 degrees. And again, there could be a risk of some thunderstorm for parts along the seaway, even in the valley. But for Gatineau, as well as Mont Tremblant, Maniwaki, it's looking like still just a slight chance of rain. So no chance nor likeliness that thunderstorms could develop. As we look towards the Atlantics, take a look. 15 degrees for Fredericton and Sunshine, Halifax, partly cloudy conditions. You could see a little bit of the cooler air moving through eastern Ontario and really for parts of western Quebec, but it's really the southern part of Ontario, 24, 23 degrees, a little bit of warm weather moving through the west, or the states, I should say, but really temperatures across Canada sitting between 21 and 23 degrees. We are looking towards the rain that is moving through. It is lightening, or weakening, I should say, as we get into our Tuesday. But really, for the rest of this week, we are looking at some cloudy skies and the potential of rain returning by the end of the week. Now, today's 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Take a look at these overnight lows, still in the double digits, so it's going to be quite warm as we get into our Tuesday. Daytime high 22. This is going to stay on trend for really the rest of the week for temperatures. So it's going to be pretty decent seasonal conditions as we make our way for the first week of fall, but it's not going to be as sunny as what we saw last week. That's okay, though. If we get moments like this, Patricia, where it's going to be a pause in the wet weather, we could take in this wonderful view here, because, you know, this is nothing less than breathtaking.
Yeah.
I'll take it back to you.
Absolutely. Above 20-degree temperatures, and as those colors start to change, just going to get even prettier. So appreciate that, Jackie. Thank you.
She'll be de-enrolled from her courses if they did not get a $3,000 deposit by the end of that day.
Well, coming up, we'll tell you about a new scam targeting university students. Well, in tonight's big picture, an 8-year-old in Nova Scotia has made a rare discovery. Abigail Boudreau was playing outside her home when this pink grasshopper caught her eye. She named the grasshopper Emily and took it to school in a jar to show her classmates and friends. The pink hue is caused by a rare genetic mutation. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. New data shows Canadians continue to avoid trips to the U.S. Stats from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection show there were 37,000 fewer trips from Canada to the United States at Eastern Ontario border crossings in August compared to the same time last year. This marks the 7th straight month with a decline in cross-border trips. Well, the city is proposing naming a park after a local woman who raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for cancer research. Cindy Hooper died about a year ago in 2024, more than 10 years after she was first diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. She was a competitive triathlete and completed multiple marathons and Ironmans. The city is seeking input on renaming the current Kimmins Court Park near Beaver Pond to Cindy Hooper Park. Well, a reminder to drivers, a section of Highway 416 in the Spencerville area is now closed for construction. The northbound lanes closed from Spencerville to Oxford Station last night. The lanes are scheduled to reopen on Thursday at 6 a.m.
Looking towards that back post, is flicked on, and Manor off the crossbar. The ball's so close to
Well, Canadian soccer legend Desiree Scott is set to hang up her cleats. Scott announcing this morning that she will retire from professional soccer at the end of Ottawa Rapid FC's inaugural season. Scott also played for Canada's women's national team, winning a gold Olympic medal and 2 bronze. We want to go back out to Jackie now, taking in those beautiful views in Westport with more on what people can experience out there. Jackie.
That's right, Patricia. Westport, a village that's been around for at least 200 years. And I mean, I'm it's breathtaking, and I'm blown away with how wonderful these views are. But I want to bring in Stephen Rolston, and you are the founder of Watercolor Westport. And I just want you to just talk about what it is about Westport that you fell in love with, 25 years ago?
25 years ago, I fell in love with this village because there's something about being in a waterfront village that just makes people feel calm and relaxed and at peace. And I fell in love with Westport when we were developing our 9th community nearby. And I just thought, this is an incredible walkable village that is so historic. It just makes people feel calm.
Calm, at
Relaxed,
peace.
And at peace. And many people, they come into the model home and they say it's beautiful, but they also say that Westport, the village, makes them feel calm, peace, and relaxed.
Well, thank you for that. And you did mention it. There is an up-and-coming community coming here, and you are part of this. It is the Land Arc Homes. And I want to bring in Wafa here. We got a chance to see some of the home and the space. The crazy thing about this and what's wonderful about it is how close everything is, the amenities, not just here nature-wise, but also the downtown Main Street area.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jackie. You know, part of being in Westport and this vantage point gives you just that proximity of how close we are to the water. You can walk to the waterfront, but the unique thing about the homes here is that you have the privilege of really living in a historic village. You can walk to anything, and walkability is so connected to our wellness. It builds community, it builds health and wellness in your entire lifespan, whether you're a child or an aging senior. You have access to everything you need.
Well, thank you so much. And I mean, you both said it while we were sitting up here, taking in the scenic views out from Spy Rock Lookout Point, that it's about nature, it's about neighbors. So thank you so much for sharing this wonderful space with us and our viewers back in Ottawa and throughout Eastern Ontario. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, Patricia, we are going to take it back to you in studio, and we are going to just enjoy these wonderful views here out in Westport.
The $1 million view for our $1 million viewers, Jackie. Thank you.
Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen.
Well, coming up, the Trump administration claims there's a link between Tylenol and the development of autism during pregnancy, something disputed by many doctors.
Get the latest live, local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, the Trump administration is claiming Tylenol use by pregnant women may be linked to autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders, but without clear evidence. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has more.
It is one of the most common products you'll find in North American medicine cabinets, acetaminophen, Tylenol, or in other parts of the world, paracetamol. But now a new study from the U.S. links the commonly used drug with autism, ADHD, and other neurodevelopmental disorders.
I'm certainly not convinced with this purported link to autism. I think the better quality studies have shown that there frankly is no link there. Let's not forget that pregnant women do get sick. They do develop fevers, they do develop pain. Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen. Those anti-inflammatories do have a number of side effects.
And the makers of Tylenol have also issued a statement. We believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. Acetaminophen is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed throughout their entire pregnancy. Without it, women face dangerous choices, suffer through conditions like fevers that are potentially harmful to both mom and baby, or use riskier alternatives. Developmental pediatrician Dr. Melanie Penner is with Holland Bloorview Kids Rehab.
There is not a single cause for autism or for other neurodevelopmental conditions that we deal with in our clinics. And autism really seems to be a complex combination that is unique to each child of their genetics, but also some factors in their environment that together make up this clinical group of symptoms or features that we call autism.
She cautions against looking for a single silver bullet cause for autism and encourages awareness and acceptance for a complex condition that affects an estimated 2% of Canadian children. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Well, there's a new scam targeting university students that could cost them thousands of dollars. Criminals are hacking into student emails claiming they owe tuition money and telling them they'll be kicked out of their program if they don't pay. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
My daughter just finished high school and started University of Toronto.
Sandra Jordan of Mississauga says her daughter Ava Moss was excited to start university this fall. Everything was going fine, but earlier this month she got an email claiming a tuition payment was due right away or she would be kicked out of her program.
It states that she'll be de-enrolled from her courses if they did not get a $3,000 deposit by the end of that day.
The email appeared to come from the University of Toronto, so Jordan immediately sent an e-transfer of $3,000. But not long after sending it, she had concerns.
I just had this weird feeling that something didn't seem right.
On the university's website, there is a warning of the tuition scam, but the alert was too late for Jordan, and she lost $3,000. The University of Toronto told CTV News the university never asked students for payment through e-transfer or other private means. Jordan's bank, CIBC, said if you receive an unexpected request for money, you should verify the request is legitimate by reaching out to a trusted organization like your bank, or in this case, the university.
Whenever it comes to making any type of financial transaction, if you're unsure, hit the pause button, take a breather.
Ritesh Kotak says criminals create a sense of urgency, so you'll act fast. He says whenever you're asked to send money, slow down, ask questions to make sure the request is legit.
Sometimes a lot of these high-tech crimes, low-tech solution. Pick up the phone, call the university, and validate and verify before you send your hard-earned money over.
Jordan wishes the university would have warned families in advance about the scam. She says the $3,000 could have helped pay for her daughter's schooling, and she wants other students to be careful.
To lose $3,000, obviously, I'm very dedicated to my daughter's education.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
There they go. Just ahead, thousands of runners supporting Canadian Armed Forces members and veterans will introduce you to some of the people who participated in this year's Canada Army Run. Well, the streets of Ottawa were filled with runners yesterday as more than 15,000 took part in the annual Canada Army Run. Participants laced up for the 5K, 10K and half marathon to raise funds for programs supporting Canadian Armed Forces members, veterans and their families. CTV's Josh Morano reports.
In front of City Hall, 82-year-old Fred Clark is warming up for the Canada Army Run Half Marathon, a race he holds close to his heart.
I was in 5 years, so I've got close buddies still in the military, and I relate to their cause, or to the veterans, and especially the wounded and the families, so it's an honor.
Thousands of participants alongside him showing their support to military members through exercise.
The vets that I know, none of them are really requiring aid, but again, I do realize that there are a lot that do, and I think we should show our respect. I think it's almost an obligation as far as I'm concerned.
Particularly now more than ever, I feel it's really good to support our military, but also just to support family members that have suffered.
The funds raised go to support our troops and Soldier On, helping with everything from rehabilitations to family programs. The run, emceed by CTV's Natalie Van Roy, offers 3 distances, a 5 and 10K, along with the half marathon, which organizers say saw the largest sign-up in years.
We have never seen this many people in our half marathon. We're over 16,000 people, both in person and virtually. We are up from registration last year.
The course finished at the Canadian War Memorial, where Artisan Biba crossed the finish line with the fastest time to complete the half marathon.
Army is a big part of our country. It's great to be a part of this cause. I've been running it last year, and I'll probably be running it many more times again in the future.
It's directly impacting the lives of serving members and their families. So we thank everyone who registers is doing a part, whether it's showing support, fundraising, and coming out and cheering or volunteering.
For Clark, he says it's not just about crossing the finish line, it's about showing support for the men and women who serve.
To the Canadian Army to hang in, be bold, and we may be tested at some point in time, and I'm sure they're up to it, and we're proud of them.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Well, coming up, the Sens kick off the preseason with the annual Fan Fest. We'll have more on that after the break. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Westport has such a rich history, and Stephen Rolston, founder of Watercolor Westport, you have more facts about this wonderful place.
Yes, Westport got its name because it is the western port on the 200-year-old Rideau Canal waterway. And it is a unique opportunity to live in a historic, walkable, waterfront village.
Wow, and just look at that amazing view. Speaking of views, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Elgin Street with the sun setting within the next 10 minutes. Yeah, fall is here with temperatures feeling like 18 degrees.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, our Fall Fashion Week continues with some trending fall eyewear from Perceptions Eyewear. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, The Voice, and The Weakest Link. We want to go back out to Jackie in Westport for one final look at the forecast. Jackie, I have to admit, I may have looked at a floor plan or two during the commercial break just to see what these places are like because they sound intriguing.
Yeah, you saw the floor plans. I actually drove in earlier because I got here early and drove through the neighborhood, and the watercolor community is absolutely lovely. So we will be seeing that by Wednesday or Thursday. So stick around this whole week. Let's take a look at the conditions for tomorrow morning. Much warmer than what we have seen the last couple of days. 17 degrees to start us off. Yes, there is still a chance of showers that will linger throughout the day, but nothing compared to what we saw today. 22 is the daytime high, and we are going to trend between 22, 23 degrees for the remainder of the week. Looking like Wednesday will be our, I would say, driest day for this week, Patricia and Austin. So again, not quite getting that sunshine, but this is how we're essentially going to welcome in the first week of fall. And I'm enjoying all the wonderful colors behind me as well. But for now, we're going to take it back to you in studio.
Still pretty good compared to what's coming.
Yeah,
right?
No kidding.
We'll take September when we know November is just a month away. We want to check in to see what our news team is working on for tonight. Austin Lee is here.
Thanks, Patricia. A couple of things that we're following. Obviously, the latest on that forest fire in North Dundas. We're hoping that the rain, of course, is extinguishing those flames. We'll have an update as soon as information is provided. We'll also share details on how an Ontario University student is using AI to help families save on their grocery bills. She's created Scrimp AI. It's a free app that makes grocery shopping faster, more affordable, and personalized for you in your area. It even creates unique meal plans for people that use it. So we'll have that tonight. Of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca, and join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
We'll do that. Thank you very much. And finally for us tonight, Ottawa Senators fans gearing up for a new season. Go, Saints, go! Go, Saints! Something about a red carpet against a blue sky. Isn't that beautiful out there? The team hosting the annual Fan Fest at Canadian Tire Centre yesterday. Players walked the red carpet, signed jerseys, interacted with fans, all ahead of their first preseason game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Here's Sabrango. Rick Batherson off the post scores.
Ridley Gregg tapping one in to get the Sens on the board in the second period. The Leafs would skate away with the 4-3 win. That's fine. It's only preseason, and in fact, it's the only preseason game at home this season. The Sens and Leafs will face off again tomorrow night for more preseason action in Toronto. There's some games for Ottawa in Quebec City. But what I like about this is the fact that the Fan Fest Day, Austin, was linked with a game, perhaps because of necessity. The CTC was very busy this week. There were concerts. But it worked really well, I think, for fans to get out and have a chance to meet the players, do some of the fun stuff, and then actually go in and watch some real hockey.
Yeah, and a beautiful day for it as well. It's just so nice to see hockey back.
Yeah.
The chirping has already begun. For anyone at home that's wondering.
Not between us.
Within the newsroom. No,
we're good.
But we're outnumbered on the weekends. We've got a couple of Leafs fans in the building, so it's getting a little heated.
You should check ID at the door or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Card-carrying Sens fans only.
Yeah, Josh Morano, Kimberly Fowler.
Oh,
they're
calling
Leafs
them
fans.
out
Calling them out.
name.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Have a good evening, everyone.